Good afternoon, welcome on in for another episode of From Day One. And we have an interesting court appearance today. We have Law Talk with Mike and a few others on individual subset who wants to represent himself.
Unrepresented, Mr. Cross is unrepresented, and I've been trying to have Mr. Pimentel take an invitation to a breakout room now for the better half of an hour.
Good luck with that.
Yes, sir.
You got to figure out a way to get to the breakout room with Ms. Gardner because you can't discuss your case obviously in open court because me and the prosecutor can share everything. So, George D, can you try to do something to get him into a breakout room?
Did she try?
I tried to go to breakout room 5, sir.
I can close all the breakout rooms, but that's going to push David back.
That's fine, and we can send him back out.
Okay.
He's not was better since 9.
Okay, let me see.
Thanks. Mr. Carl Washington?
Mr. Washington is not represented. He's previously been here twice, indicated that he was asking for...
There you go. Mr. Washington's center right, and you can just tell by the camera work he's the subset.
Actually, Mike, that is not correct. Mr. Washington is down in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, and he actually does want the public defender, just really doesn't know how to get a hold of it. The main event, which we have coming up in a moment with Mr. Cross, he is our subset moron of the afternoon.
To hire counsel, and I still don't see counsel at
I feel like Ghost. I feel like you and Carl may be in the same place.
Well,
your picture matches.
I need a public defender for now, just for now, to get this moving along. Can we do that?
You can call in and apply for the public defender, but just for now, doesn't make sense to us. I mean, the prosecutor has as much right to a speedy trial as the defense does. You're
that
right.
is true, Your Honor.
To proceed without an attorney. If you want to hang up, call the court. You got a pen?
I do.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Hurry on.
And ask to apply for the public defender, and then call back regardless, and we'll address it at that point, okay?
Which one was the attorney?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me put you on standby, make the call, and then call you back.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Thank you. And what's the other person's name?
Mr. Cross.
That is our man, Mike.
Philip Edward Cross. Can you unmute?
That's the place to be, Ghost. It's the place to be. Where is Mr. Cross?
Mr. Cross, do you intend to represent yourself?
Give him a second, guys. He'll come in.
I am myself.
There he goes.
You're going to represent yourself?
Yeah.
Well, I take it back. I guess Carl was calling back to get an attorney. It's Mr. Cross that's gone full subset.
Yes, it is, Mike, and you'll love it.
I am myself.
Hey, dude, learn how to control your microphone and be. I'm the one who gets to play sound effects, not you. You don't need to play no little SpongeBob SquarePants there.
If you intend to represent yourself, hire an attorney, or seek the public defender.
I intend to speak for myself.
You're going to speak for yourself. That means you're representing yourself. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not representing myself. I am myself. I'm a live man.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Mr. Cross, can you turn on your video?
Subset to the win.
Please, we've got to see this genius at work.
Yeah, you know, you got to get that proposal. There he is.
One count of reckless endangerment. That's a gross misdemeanor punishable by up to 364 days in jail and $5,000 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes.
When you indicate to me that you're alive, you are yourself and you are a live man, that tells me that you have certain specific opinions with regard to the criminal justice system, and I respect
Cough, cough, subset. Cough, cough.
that, but I need to make sure I make a record.
I don't respect it, but yeah, it certainly indicates that you're a sovereign citizen.
So,
correct.
You have the absolute right to be represented by an attorney. You can't
I probably didn't spell it right, but I'm not in contract with you.
have an attorney.
Hey, that's a little later.
Hundreds of an attorney.
These are always so good.
Yeah, it is, but don't jump the gun.
There are risks associated with representing yourself. I'm assuming that you do not have any training in the law.
He's a sovereign citizen.
So as we
Yes, he
proceed
is.
through
We
the
know this.
process,
Relax.
You're going to be proceeding in a fashion where
He looks like
you
one
be
too.
expected to comply with
Yes,
the court
he
rules.
definitely
So
does.
there's procedural rules, there's evidence rules, and you're going to be held to the same standard as a lawyer. I can't help you out. That's why almost everyone's better with an
Colin
attorney.
Collins.
You get the attorneys familiar with those rules. Now, I need you to answer
These are so good.
straightforward questions.
So
It's going to
good.
be good. It's going to be good.
Oh,
Yes, guys, let him get
Always
to it.
making the highlight reel, these people.
Defender, or do you intend to hire a lawyer to represent you?
I intend to represent myself.
Okay.
Okay. Idiot, but
How do you
okay.
intend to proceed today?
I can proceed forward to the motion calendar.
Yes, I agree with you,
Don't
Mike.
forget to hit like and
No,
subscribe.
the dogs do not get it.
So you want to set the case for trial with motions?
I do not consent.
Okay.
Hey, I consent to you. Let him get to
He's
it.
got stuff written down. He's reading it right now.
Yeah,
Yes, he's trying to. Relax.
I'm going to assist you to some degree only because I'm assuming that you don't have access to O-Court.
Oakport.
Ms. McBaron, do you have screen sharing abilities?
I am on a different computer
That's fine.
doing my
O court, much better than O face.
Georgia, can you give me screen sharing abilities?
If you were using StreamYard,
working on the order.
Hey, do not trash the judge.
So, Mr. Cross, can you see the screen?
Yes, I can.
Do you see where it says order on pretrial conference in the upper right-hand corner?
Yes.
What this says is that we're setting the case for a motion on April the 13th at 1:30.
exactly.
That if it goes to trial, it would be going to trial on April the 21st at 10 o'clock. Excuse me, jury call would be April 21st at 10 o'clock. Both of those court hearings, the motion hearing and the jury call, you can zoom in for. Unless you want the motion hearing to be live, in which case you require the officers to be here live if that's the kind of motion. Do you know what kind of motions you're filing?
the kind in the ocean.
Pretty sure I know which ones I need. I'm filing, but
Oh, I don't know if he got that. The judge said, "Do you know what kind of motions you're filing?" He said, "I'm pretty sure I know which kind I need." This thing's going to trial next month. First of all, thanks again to Credence and Bishop. I lifted this right off their channel.
Yes, you did, Mike.
And again, that's who you hear in the background. I've never seen this Judge Stewart before. I kind of like him. He's going with the same approach a recent judge did, which is, I'm going to display to you what you're up against. Clearly, this guy does not understand anything the judge is telling him, but we carry on.
I'm not sure if I might be adding.
The motions that are going to require.
He's not very good at this so far, by the way.
No, he isn't.
All those years of sovereign citizen of college have gone to waste.
Are the motions that are your motions going to require testimony?
No, they will not.
Okay. Do you want to appear for the motions virtually?
Are your motions going to require testimony? No, they won't.
No, they're
He
going to
doesn't
require
know.
stupidity.
He doesn't know what the motion is yet. Oh, Lord.
You don't know what his motion of his ocean is?
Have the parties appear in person for the motions.
In person.
Virtually is fine.
Okay. So we'll allow motions and jury call virtually. If it goes to trial, you're going to have to appear in person. Okay?
Copy that.
Have you received a copy of the discovery?
Over.
Yeah,
Roger Wilkos.
He acquiesces to personal appearance. If not, they proceed without you or issue a bench warrant. So it's not like you have a lot of choice, but it's cute that he thinks he does.
Not yet.
10-4, good buddy.
Are you requesting a copy of the discovery?
Yes, I am requesting a copy.
Okay. Do we have Mr. Cross's?
This stuff gets real cringy, real fast.
Yes, it does. Let us get there.
Does it start with a 12?
I wonder what he did.
Yes, he does. 1, 2.
You don't want to know what he did.
So, Ms. McBaron, do you have his email address?
I can probably get it here on.
Read it out loud if you do.
No.
Please provide a copy of the email to you. Mr. Cross, if you don't receive the discovery, Ms. McBaron, can you forward the discovery to him by the end of the week?
Yes.
Mr. Cross, if you don't receive the discovery by the end of the week, I want you to contact the court and let us know, okay?
Copy that.
Any voice is
Now,
scary.
3-5, if you notice on the form here, it says a 3-5 hearing is requested. Ms. McBaron is erring on the side of caution, indicating that you're challenging the admission of any statements. Because you haven't given us the nature of your hearings, I'm going to require that your motion include any reference to a challenge of the hearing, admission of any of your statements under Miranda. Is there a 911 tape, Ms. McBaron? No 911 tape will be offered. There's no motions that you've noted today, so your motions are going to have to be in writing to put the city on notice as to what they are. Those motions are going to be due 2 weeks
Copy that.
prior to the April 13th hearing. So by March the 31st, you need to file copies of your written motions with the court and serve them on the city.
I can almost guarantee he doesn't file anything, but if he does, it will be an affidavit of truth.
Yeah, it did. It was.
Everybody's going to have an email address. You're going to respond to that email address with a copy of your written motions. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
No, sir, he don't
Any
understand that.
witnesses that the city have identified or set forth in the police report, if you have witnesses other than yourself, I expect you to identify those witnesses along with.
I'm not driving, I'm traveling.
Hey, that's coming up.
If you're asserting any defense other than denial, you need to include those with your motion.
You think he'll be able to fill this paperwork out? Come on.
No, of course not.
That's
That's
Is that based upon the arraignment date?
that's one thing that they do a lot is
Based on his first appearance subsequent to warrant, which was on 2-4.
they file a lot of motions and all
A lot of
that
motions without
ocean
oceans.
stuff,
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I gotta do another document, so you can set here.
Show him more pain.
That sounds pretty good, Carol.
Yeah. Oop. Waiver to jury trial. Waiver to attorney. Trying to read and see if I can get any information about what he did.
I think that they will probably get into that.
They already did, you two.
Hey, Noah.
What's up, the blue?
It's the 364 days in jail,
Mr.
maximum
Cross,
fine.
you have the absolute right to be represented by an attorney, okay?
Got the abs.
Yeah,
If you're waiving
you
your
been
right to
working
be
out, bro?
represented by an attorney, you're doing so at your own risk.
Roger.
Okay, guys.
Provide this document here to your email. You see the document on the screen?
Yes, I do.
I want you to go through that document, okay? And answer all these questions, or be prepared to answer the questions at the next court hearing.
I see reckless endangerment.
Oh, yeah, big, bold letters.
Through these things, but the trial, assuming this case goes to a jury trial, and it's set for a jury trial right now, jury trials start out with a thing called voir dire. You know what voir dire is?
No, he doesn't,
That's
Your Honor.
the
It's voir dire.
pictures you take. That's not quite completely naked, but pretty close.
Kind of there.
Perfect.
No, that would be voyeur, but I'll let you have that one.
And I said starts out with actually before voir dire is motions in limine. You know what motions in limine are?
No.
No.
Yeah, he has no idea what any of this is.
Say,
Okay, I'm going to ask you if you could type.
Well, they're the motions at the beginning of the trial. Have you tried a case before, Mr. Cross?
No.
So you're new to this bullshit? I mean, stuff that you...
Detail right here at your next court date, okay?
Okay.
And I want you to promise me, can you promise me you're going to read through this document?
Oh, absolutely.
Respond to each of these questions.
absolutely, he'll
Yes,
be
Your Honor.
stupid, Your Honor.
If you show up at your next court, you're indicating that you don't want a lawyer, okay? I'm telling you, you're at a disadvantage proceeding without an attorney. At any time between now and your next court date, you can contact the court and apply for the public defender. At any time between now and your next court date, you can hire an attorney. After your next court date, you can apply for the public defender or hire an attorney. But the court
This judge is really nice. He's taking a very nice approach. He's showing the defendant that he's way over his head, and then giving him every out in the book. This Judge Stewart is new to me, but I like his approach. Hopefully, this guy starts looking at this and realizes he can't do it, and contacts a public defender, and they can probably resolve the issue.
Court thinks that it's very, very dangerous.
You'd hope
for you to
so,
proceed
but
with that one. But I want to make sure you understand that if that's what you elect to do, you're going to be held to a standard of an attorney. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we're going to go over this in detail. Ms. McBaron, put notes in your record to make sure that I go over this in detail after Mr. Cross has an opportunity to review it, okay?
Will do.
Georgia D, make sure, and
I'd love to see this go to a jury trial.
Like, can you imagine?
Okay.
I think he's very new.
Enjoyers.
I think he's very new at the sovereign citizen.
Okay, so your next
Extremely
court date,
new.
you understand, is going to be
Write it down.
April 13th. I have 1:30, and can I have Ms. McBaron put a /S on this form just to show that I went over this with you? That's just for your signature because you can't sign it.
Put it in the calendar. What time?
You can also just refer to the YouTube video where you did it in excruciating detail in this video. Heck, you can cite Law Talk with Mike if you like.
And you want to make sure
Mike, stop trying to-
Is that correct?
plug yourself.
Yes.
And you understand that there's risks for doing so.
Extremely.
Yes.
And
Your Honor, I'd like a mistrial. My attorney's an idiot.
you understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
So ruled.
Doesn't matter for the 13th.
What time?
Okay, Mr. Cross, you're free to go. We'll see you then.
Never said a time.
Necessary that
He
here.
has something in his mustache.
All right, Dave, sir.
He's eating.
Yeah, he is.
You
Yeah,
Don't
he
have
was
a lot of
eating.
time.
Lawyer on the
Mr.
go.
Chairman, it looks like we're ready for the plea on Mr. Timentois.
Well, there you have it. That was fun. Thanks
Yeah,
again
it
to
was.
Credence and Bishop.
Thank you very much, Mikey Poo. We definitely appreciate it. Well, since we have a few minutes left, let's do a quick Judge Judy Hyper. Alrighty. Angry man hits friend's car with a metal rod? Really?
Mr. Kovac, you were living with Mr. Goldsby and his wife as a tenant?
Correct.
When was that Mr. Kovac came to live with you and your wife as a tenant?
The end of June.
End of June of last year?
This past year.
2016.
2016. Or 2015, I guess. I'm sorry. It was 2015. I'm sorry.
And then there came a time that you and your wife separated and you moved out.
That's correct, yes.
When was that?
That was July 10th of 2015.
So shortly after he moved in.
Yes.
Had you anticipated that when you took on a tenant?
Not at all, no.
And you decided to remain on as a tenant?
Yes.
You have no romantic relationship with Mr. Goldby's wife?
Not at all.
And I don't think that there is that suggestion, other than the fact that you clearly exercised poor judgment when in May of this year, Miss Goldsby wanted to serve her husband with divorce papers. Does your wife work?
She does, yes.
And so she could have hired a process server, but she decided to do it herself. And she enlisted your aid to drive over to his place of business and wait outside while she went inside to serve him with divorce papers. That's what happened.
Yes.
Now, I don't know why your wife was so angry with you, sir. Maybe she had a good reason to be angry with you.
She did.
Well, if what you're telling me is she did, don't have to go into it, I get it, then what she wanted to do was embarrass you.
I felt that was the case, yes.
Absolutely. No, that's no question about that. If she had good cause to ask you to leave and she wanted to embarrass you, then she would take the papers over to your place of business rather than hiring an innocuous process server to serve you at your home, something else. So she tried to embarrass you. Now, in addition to her coming in to serve you with divorce papers, the people in your office, and how many people work in your office?
There was probably about 5 people there.
And everybody in there had the ability to see that in the car there was a guy.
Correct, yes.
Now I have set the story. It is May 3rd of this year. You're waiting outside while the soon-to-be ex-Mrs. Goldsby goes in to serve him with the papers. Got the papers. He looks outside. He sees you in the car. And instead of taking the papers, You went outside
I did, yes.
and you approached Mr. Kovac.
Correct, yes.
Now tell me what happened, Mr. Kovac.
She went to meet him on the other side of the building and pretty much through Papa John's windows as I parked on the other side of the building to avoid being seen. And I see him through the windows running around the north side of the building and turning the corner towards me with the metal object. And I came and swung and ended up hitting the top of my car
How many times?
one time.
And that's what you're suing for the damage.
Yes.
May I see the damage, please? And the estimate will be
of the
fine.
damage.
Have an estimate?
Yep.
Yes is the answer.
Yes. Sorry.
And we got just a little more Hyper Judy while we
How
finish.
long was Carmela at the vet?
3 days.
When she left the vet after 3 days, she had been diagnosed with parvo. What were her symptoms?
She was just groggy and not very dog-like. She wasn't loving. She was just sickly.
What was she like when you took her out of the vet?
The vet called me and
Don't tell me what the vet told you.
get her.
Don't tell me what the vet told you.
The dog was in prime condition to come home.
The dog seemed fine.
Yes.
And if I called Animal Kingdom, you have that number, they would tell me that the dog was released and had been tested and was free from parvo.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Sarah, do this for me, please. Take that number, go in the roving room, call Animal Kingdom. Tell them that you're calling from Judge Judy Scheinman. We're calling about Cooper Curry's dog, Carmela, that was released from Animal Kingdom end of July of this year. The dog had parvo. Would you find out from the vet whether the dog was free from parvo when the dog was released from the vet?
Sure.
Would you do that? Thank you. If you have any problem with them, let me know. And you don't have, the answer is that you don't have records of that puppy. That was the puppy that died. How old was the puppy?
When he died, he was about 14 weeks. He was 14 weeks.
Sarah?
Yeah, got a lot of information.
Okay.
So Carmela was diagnosed on 7/12/21 with not only parvo but intestinal parasites as well. And she had a hospital stay until approximately the 14th in hospital, where she was treated and picked up. And then there was a revisit with a strict instruction to not be around any other dogs, as it was still a highly contagious disease. She revisited on August 23rd for her second vaccine.
August 23rd.
Of 2020.
That's his dog.
Yes.
August 23rd.
For a revisit after the hospital stay, where she received her second vaccine, which was a combo vaccine, including for parvo, with again another instruction not to be around any other puppies or dogs and not to purchase any more puppies and dogs until she was revisited, but there was no negative test result when she left.
No negative.
She said there would not have been a negative test result, but she left with the second dose of the vaccine and the strict instructions
not to be around other dogs.
Your Honor, I was homeless and she was allowing me.
I don't care whether you were homeless, hapless, sad, snowflake. I don't care. It's irrelevant to me. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you have family. Your family may care about you. I, on the other hand, do not. I, on the other hand, have an idiot who was given specific instructions not to have their dog around other dogs, and you specifically didn't listen. And whether you're homeless or not, who gives a rat's behind?
Well, I had paid rent to move into her house, and I was supposed to be moving in, and she
I don't care if you move in. You're not going to give her dog parvo.
She wasn't supposed to be there.
It doesn't matter.
It does.
She was
to be there.
there.
She wasn't supposed to be.
She was there.
She wasn't
fool.
supposed to be.
She was there, fool.
She was not supposed
She was
to be there.
Listen.
No.
You don't
You
understand.
listen to me.
Don't
She wasn't supposed to be there.
I'm supposed to listen to you. I'm supposed to listen to him.
Yeah.
Cut off his mic. He's not only homeless, maybe a little high, maybe a little stupid. I'm not exactly sure which one.
All three.
Maybe all three. You were told by the vet not to have your dog around other dogs. Do you understand that? You understand that?
Yes.
And when you're told not to have your dog around other dogs and you're supposed to be a dog lover, then whether she's there or not there, if she's there, she's got her dogs there, you're not supposed to take your dog near her dogs. That's what you were told, that it's a highly contagious disease. Don't take your dog near other dogs. That's what you were told. Can I see your vet bills, please? You have anything else to do with this case, Emar? I already dismissed your counseling. You can sit down.
That was good. That was actually from the newer revision of her show called Judy Justice, of all things. I think we have one more of those real quick before we finish up.
You're not entitled to any money.
That's not true.
Well, I'm telling you that you're not entitled to any money.
But you haven't heard my story or seen the evidence.
What I'm telling you, madam, is the following. You have no lease to his apartment.
We had a verbal contract.
No, you had no lease to his apartment, and you accepted in satisfaction of having no lease $1,000, which is what you gave him, and you cashed it. And he's not responsible for your having to find another apartment, which cost you more money. You had a responsibility. You're a grown woman. And if you saw an apartment that was a bargain, you hop on it. Say, I want my lease. I want to sign it. I want to give you the money that right now for it, so I know it's mine and I know it's held. That's what you do as a grown-up. You didn't do that. You had the perfect opportunity to get a cashier's check for $5,500 the day before you went there. And you didn't. And you modified the lease before he signed it. So you had no lease. You had no written lease when there was supposed to be a written lease. This wasn't a verbal month-to-month tenancy. This was not a verbal month-to-month tenancy.
No, it was not.
Right.
It was a 12-month lease.
That's a lease for a year or more has to be in writing. And I'm telling you, you did not have a written lease with him, and you failed to fulfill the terms of the lease by not bringing a sufficient amount of money with you. Your case is dismissed.
No, ma'am.
We are done.
No.
Court is adjourned.
We are
humor me
done.
to hear the story, please.
We are done.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, yeah,
No.
you are.
Well, then there's a breach of contract, right? Because you told me you were going to hear the case.
I heard my
You did not hear.
Yeah.
No, I won't go. No.
Case is over.
I'm not going.
Case is over.
Actually, I never got to speak. I'm not going.
So I'm just curious, would you have felt any different about the plaintiff being a hustler if she had not cashed that $1,000 check that he had refunded her for what she had paid towards her deposit?
I would still have thought that she was a hustler.
Mm-hmm.
He agreed because of a friendship with a mutual friend to rent this woman an apartment for less than its going rate.
Yeah.
And he held it for a month.
For no money.
Really for no money. She got the lease. She made an alteration on the lease. She never sent it back. She never acknowledged that she had it. The day before she left Arizona, she went to the bank knowing that she owes him $5,500. And she took out a check for $5,000 and paid for a check for $5,000. You know, I've been in this business and heard these landlord and tenant things long enough to know once she moved her things into that apartment, that $500 security deposit,
Gone.
He was never going to see. He might have hounded her for it for a couple of months, and then he would have said, forget about it. And she knew that. She knew that. That's what makes her a hustler. That check for $5,000, that cashier's check, instead of $5,500, says to me, hustler.
Yeah.
And with that, we will bring Part 8 to a close. Of course, Soft sits Karen's and everybody else ready to go in the evening, and of course, a new Art Bell in the overnight. Like, share, and subscribe, be kind to one another, and release the Krakens as we march along here from day one. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you tonight.